I don't know why my live button doesn't like to go live anymore. Okay, there. Here's
Having trouble? Yeah, I think it'll work. It's all about your mindset.
And there we go. Okay, we are live.
Oh,
We have a little bit of technical difficulty there, but we're good to go. And hello, everybody, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Tonight we got some great guests, and with my co-host Lucky Smith and our guest Isby, and coming on in a short bit, Max Vision. And we're going to be talking tonight is about the end of the world. Now I know you all have done it. You've done it a million times. You turned on the TV, you turned on the radio, whatever. You heard it in the chit chat, the gossip around the coffee shop or the coffee pot, somewhere along the line at work or who knows where. And you've heard this. Oh man, the world's ending. Holy cow, there's a comet headed straight for Earth. You know, it's not like this. So I wrote a little bit about this.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down because I had to get my mind clear, and I know I'd screw it up. So here it is. The end of the world. When isn't it? Comets, tidal waves, hurricanes, volcanoes, wars, and nuclear war. From the days of myths and tales, and from days of yore, revelation from the Bible, all tell of the coming doom. The doom that will end the world. But for who? You or me? Not them. They, whoever they are, must be in charge of the world. They're running the script. Our world will go on. We are like fleas. You can spray a flea, wash it. You can do whatever you can, but you can't, you know, it'll just come back. A flea will just come back. You have to poison them. You have to wipe them out. Get the eggs, everything. I wake up in the morning, and as soon as I can think, I turn on the radio, and I hear, it's the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Are we there? I turn on another channel. I heard stories of disease and pestilence. Turn the channel, next channel. And they're trying to tell us, prepare, or you're gonna die. You're not gonna survive. Prepare, get some food, get some stuff. It's coming. But nobody wants to tell you when. It's soon, though. You better hurry. War. It's war. It's coming. No. It's a pole shift. It's a magnetic pole shift. No, it's not that at all. It's diseases. They're going to kill us all. No, it's the economy. Gets me tired. Make it, it's useless. Do this, do that, stock up. I don't know what to do first. From the stock market crashing to our devalued dollar, nothing seems to be going right anymore. The whole world has a sickness, and it's called fear, obedience, conformity, truth, and trying to fit in. We feel like we're living in a bizarro world.
I told a couple of people that today.
That's right.
When they started this COVID thing a couple of years ago, they cast a dark spell of fear on the whole world.
That's right. The world, as we know it, we're living in, is just slipping away. Is the world ending? Have you gone outside? Do the birds, the deer, the squirrels, do they think so? Have you talked to them? Have you hugged a tree? Does that tree shake in its roots? Is it screaming out to you saying the world is ending? Oh my God, I gotta prepare. I gotta make more seeds, or I gotta suck up more water. The world is ending. No, the tree doesn't do that.
Okay.
Life goes on Earth. The Earth is so big, you just can't imagine how big it is.
Welcome, Max.
We are the fleas. And the poison, we are the fleas on Earth. The Earth is so big. And only the poison that we create is gonna kill us off. It's only the poison we create.
Well, if we believe it's going to kill us,
and that's my spiel for today. Okay. Hey, Max.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Absolutely. Glad you could join us. And
I'm
as you
sorry I
heard,
missed that. I was getting ready. I wasn't sure if I was on there. I started and then I had to go do something. So
I couldn't stop in my
Yeah.
spiel of the day. It was a good one.
absolutely.
But yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it. Or should we, or is it? I don't know. What I'm gonna ask you for your take on that tonight.
Well, for somebody, it's the end of the world every day.
That's right.
You know, the world ends for somebody every day.
That's
So, yeah.
absolutely.
And, you know, the end of the world is midnight in stories. There's another end of the world, and then it begins again. Yeah, but the end of the world, I don't know. How do you end something? You can't take it out of existence, so it'll always be here in one form or another. Because it's made of energy. You can neither create nor destroy it, so it'll always exist, maybe in different parts of the universe and in scattered forms or something. But yeah.
I don't want to speak ill will of somebody, but or anybody, but I'm going to speak goodness of one person who people all speak ill will of, and that's Putin. And I know, what was it, a few months ago, or maybe 6 months ago, somebody said, "Is the world going to end?" And he says, "Yeah." He thought about it for a second, and he says, "In about 2 billion years, the world's going to end." And you know, he's got a real good point there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's not going to end. The world is huge. It's humongous. We are going to be changing. The world is, we are changing the world. You were just talking about that on your channel about the idiocracy of your leaders there doing one thing and then not the other. And then, and same with us in the States.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And our leaders are doing stupid things that just don't even seem logical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, unless you're looking at it as controlled destruction.
Yes, but see, that's the thing. Confuse the rats, and they won't know where the cheese is, kind of thing. You know, keep them arguing and fighting among themselves while you sit back and laugh at them.
Well, even those that agreed with each other, that bought the whole story in that, they kept them confused by changing the systems of measurements and metrics on a constant basis, so that they couldn't keep up with it. And at that point, they just get so confused that the mind gives up and says, "Okay, tell me what the truth is now," and you accept it just wholeheartedly. Because your mind has been blanked pretty much from lies and deception. Like
what did I hear? And the other day, and this is the stupidest thing ever, and I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't really looked it up, but they were saying this Ocasio-Cortez lady, you know, you too, Lucky or Isby, you hear about that, where she said, no, somebody said something about the windmills not blowing. There wasn't no wind, and so they didn't have any power. And she says, "Well, we'll put big fans in front of them to keep them going." You know?
Oh man!
Are you serious?
And we'll build big diesel motor, a fan to blow the air. So I'm thinking, what? And places like, we think we got it pretty bad, but then there's Australia, and I was listening to newscasts there where they sold all their mineral rights, like oil and coal and all that stuff, to other foreign countries, and now they have to buy it from foreign countries. And then they're telling their people, "Hey, we don't have enough coal, even though we're sitting on it all, to power our power plants. So please unplug one of your refrigerators, shut off all your lights, don't use electricity as much as possible." I'm thinking, what? We live in the modern world, don't we? Are we going backwards? Is this the end of our world? See, this is where I'm going. I'm thinking, what are you going to stop? Hey, you need to go to an electric car, but we're going to shut off the power and we're going to stop drilling for oil.
Right.
You know, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes
Well, you know,
absolutely no sense.
And did y'all hear about that gas station manager that sold the or missed the decimal on the 6.99 gallon price? Made the gas 69 cents a gallon.
Oh no, but that happens. I've
Oh,
heard of that
wow.
happening before.
Oh yeah, I lost the gas station $20,000.
Oh,
whatever it
geez.
is.
Well,
They fired-
that's only 3 people filling up.
all I could hear was is Red Foreman saying, "Dumbass."
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Now
That 70s show.
that story you just told, about Cortez.
Hmm.
I was just thinking the one thing I could think of, dumbass.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, you see, you see what's going on in your state or your area. Well, that you know of, that's really dumb. What's going on there? That's end of the world kind of stupidity.
Honestly, I don't pay attention to the news, so I have no idea. I mean, I live in Massachusetts, and they're always doing stupid things. But for the most part, everything seems to be working. I mean, it's just we just go along. Even the gas prices slowly increasing, but we just seem to get along. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just you just go along to get along. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Mhm.
I don't really pay attention to the news. That's one of my problems. I just totally unplugged for. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the bad news. I mean, I don't need it in my life right now.
I totally agree with that. But see, that's the thing. You shut it out, and then in some ways, I mean, I agree that it's great to turn it off. But if you turn it off for too long, then the world says, "Oh, that guy ain't listening. We'll just do whatever we want."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part.
That it
But
is.
they already do what they want. They
They do.
don't care about the small people. They do what they want
That's
anyways.
because we let it go for too long.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean, did you think Australia would sold all the mineral rights by the people's choice?
Yeah. See, what happened was I researched this a little bit, and as far as I know, now if I see Gaza's in here, he would know. Sydney power plant last night caught on, believe it or not, Sydney power plant caught on fire last night. Go figure. No, they went ahead, they voted in all these people to represent them because they were promoting green energy, electric cars. So they said, hey, that sounds like a great idea. They voted them in, and then they said, well, we're going to go electric cars. Let's get rid of the gas and oil. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
But see, that's the part they didn't think far enough ahead to say, well, we can't just shut it off tomorrow.
Right.
Go figure. But anyway, Gaz is in the house. Maybe he can give us an update on it.
Yeah. And people have been influenced too into doing this, all of these oligarchs and people promoting the new Green Deal and all these other things. They're just there to make money off of it.
It's all about money. Yeah.
But people believe them, right? Because their stories are good. Their lies are good. And people vote for these types of things to happen because they're convinced that they're doing good by it.
And boy, are they making the money. And they are. I wanted to give a shout out to Big Al, who's spending lots of money in that big old truck of his, probably $1,200 a day, I would say. To give me a good okay if that I'm close. We got Beloved Extract in the house. Courtney is in the house. Thank you, Courtney, for coming.
Yeah.
Give it a big shout out to the Stars in the Morning Light. Go check her out on her channel. Subscribe. She's trying to get some more people so she can do the sharing thing and have better shows. She's putting out a show every day. Come on, people, go support her. Max G is in the house. Nina the Mystic, and I'm wearing her hat. There you go. I'm promoting the Ana Karana. And besides that, there's a cooler hat, my cowboy hat, because my cowboy hat was hot and it's like 90 out today. Mark is in the house. Let's see. Crystal Shaman is in the house. And of course, all the way from Australia, Gaza Cav is in the house. Thank you for coming. He's been gardening. Of course, it's winter down there. Scott Cervente. I hope I said that right. 7P. I haven't seen 7P is in the house. Thank you for coming. I seen Brenda Milky's mom is in the house. Thank you. And of course, Saturnian's son was first in saying hello, and I hope that he's doing really well. Scotty boy. Ah, yeah, that's right. How many times have you been out on the phone, a battery dies, imagine in the middle of nowhere in your car? Yeah. No signal. And when you're out and there's no signal, it usually uses the battery faster. So there you go. Joe Sapien. Hey, there you go. Okay, let's back to the show, everybody. Have to give a shout out to all those people. Big Al says $1,400 a day for diesel and DEF fluid. Now I heard that there's going to be a DEF fluid shortage. Have you heard anything about that in Canada too?
No, I haven't.
Oh, there's apparently there's going to be a DEF fluid shortage.
Okay,
so
I know that shipping is up to 4 times more cost than it was.
Yeah, which is crazy. It all boils down to the energy. Our whole life, revolve around this energy. And if you just snip that a little bit, you affect the food, you affect the housing, the money, every aspect, because we're so tied into the system.
Yeah.
That we can be easily manipulated.
And that's the end of the world, really.
Yes.
Really.
Yes,
It's the end of the world as we know it, as the song says, right? And it really is it fine? I feel fine about it.
Well, start behind you, Max.
Oh, that's for decoding. That's the zodiac with all its associations, the planets, all their associations. Several different alphabets. There's some scientific stuff on there to understand the atom. That type of thing. It's for decoding ancient texts, really.
Well, I'd love to see a full picture of it.
Oh, okay.
You post it on that.
Yeah, I'll post it somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Cool.
Or I could do a show on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
show you guys
Because
what's on there.
You're right. Everything is in the moon and the stars, because the people who control us use the moon and the stars.
Yep.
And they all, and I study a lot of history.
Mm-hmm.
And, I do the show Native American Myths and Legends on Tuesdays. And my buddy had told me, hey, why do you do that? He says, why are you studying so hard on history? Now, looking at these, what good is it to you? How is it helping you? They're gone. They're dead and gone. Their culture's dead and gone, blah, blah, blah. Forget about them. Move on. But I says, no. I says, their past is telling me my future if I look at it, strange enough.
And this is telling us our future too. We go through cycles.
Cycles. Yes.
Right?
Exactly. See, that's why I said that
We're
stuff
in a
is
cycle
just as
right
important.
now. We're probably down here in the cycle somewhere. I think
Mhm.
we're on around Aquarius or Pisces. So we're supposed to be coming out of Pisces into Aquarius, which is, I believe is Pisces, I know is Aquarius. So that change is hopefully what'll wake us all up and let us know what's going on, show these people and they'll wake up to the truth. So it's no more believing or doubting. Hopefully it's the age of knowing. So
And
it's an air sign.
yes.
yeah.
Just thought.
Yep.
Right.
It is. Yep. It's fixed air.
Cool. And between every cycle or every change, like the seasons, that's probably the easiest one I relate to, is the seasons. So you got winter and summer, you got spring in there, but you have that transition period between the winter where it snows and the spring where the leaves start popping out and the rain comes down. And sometimes you get a mix of sleet and snow and rain all at the same time. It's terrible weather. The wind is blowing, and for half the day it's warm and half the day it's cold, and then the snow comes and the next day it melts, and you just don't know what to think. And I think that that's what we're in right now, because you just said that we're in that, there is you're putting a defined line there, right? But that defined line, if you put a microscope on it, is huge.
Well, see, they do have pretty defined lines because each sign will be positive, negative, positive, negative. So you're going to hit a point where the field just changes.
Mhm.
So hopefully we're in that.
Yeah, but getting to that, there's a disruption. There's always and I think that's the chaos we're going
Yep.
through now.
Yeah.
I mean, in the cyclical bit of time is, and ages and cycles. I mean, how many years is a cycle there?
1200
Yeah. So
or 22, 24,
Okay, that's
2200. Yeah, 2200
is that the cycles between
of the great year. Yeah, this is the great year we're talking about.
we're passing through, from the time that we passed through the galactic center, their disk, like we are right now.
We're supposed to be in an area where we're open to the galactic center. It was apparently shielded from us before. So
Yeah,
the
because
energy
we was
waves are
above it or
supposed to be.
below it.
Hmm?
We was either below it or above it.
I'm not sure. They've changed that. We used to be on the Sagittarius arm. Now we're somewhere else. So,
Well, what I'm saying though is that the system is going through the galactic disk, and that's when we have these micronovas and stuff because of the dust that the sun picks up. It covers the sun, and then it blows it off. You understand what I'm saying, Max?
kind of.
And that's when we have a reset.
Okay.
The planetary reset.
Okay. A shift
And
between the poles, kind of.
I think it's happened several times. They've observed stars having micronovas as they passing through the disk.
Okay. I haven't seen that.
Because
that's cool.
they collect all that dust up.
Yeah, that would be highly charged dust.
Yes, and it's thick, because that's where the gravitational gravity's the strongest. The galactic gravity is the
If
strongest.
you got more particles, you got more gravity for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Well, it's good to see everybody.
yes.
Much love and favor be upon you all.
Now, I don't know how we got from one arm of our galaxy to another, but they changed that at some point.
I mean,
Huh.
really, it is.
I ain't noticed that.
If we were, but that's the thing is they're constantly, at least they're updating. I should say that because really being on Earth here, how do you really know where we are? It's up. You look up there and you can see things, but then to put it into a picture and say this is what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
Now I watched Suspicious Observers, I think it was the other day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys watch him. But anyway, he was talking about the different rotations of we all look at the solar system as the sun is in the middle and then the planets all rotate around it. But that's the theory. It's been around for hundreds of years or whatever. But then this other guy had another theory and he says that's what almost makes more sense, but it's really hard to explain where the sun is there and it goes around other planets and then certain planets and they kind of move like this, instead of moving like this around it, they kind of move like this around the sun, and it was really a good episode to watch. I still don't understand how that works, but he says it makes everything come out better.
It's a corkscrew motion as the sun passes through the galaxy or through space. All right.
Yeah, that's the most logical one because that follows light.
The planets are like a corkscrew around it, around the sun.
Yes, but the sun is still going and the other ones are still going around it, but they're not doing all of them at the same, like this. Some of them are doing this and some of them are doing that. And when he put it on the picture, it's like, wow, that looks really different.
Yeah, I've seen several different models of what the solar system could be, like actually how the planets are moving.
Yeah, I can't
we-
remember what it was called.
Flat Earth, round Earth comes up on my channel quite a lot. So
Yeah.
I don't discount any of them. There's a lot more than just flat Earth and round Earth, though. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's so many in the
I
inside.
can't believe in the
Howard,
flat Earth
No.
because everybody in space is round. Is it?
yeah, I believe what the ancients say, and I go back to this. I start almost every thing I look at with this. All is L, all is atom. So everything is electric, everything is atomic, and the atom behaves in a certain way. And that's similar to what they claim the planets going around the sun is. That looks like the model.
that makes the most. That makes, because everything is kind of the same.
Yeah,
It would
that's
be
why this describes from the micro to the macro, from the smallest to the biggest.
Yeah.
It's the same cycle, the same process.
Yeah, and that's the same with history, same with the cycles, the moon, and they have this down on a timeline almost. But here's the thing:
Absolutely.
lately the timelines have been kind of screwed up. Like California is supposed to have a big earthquake coming, like 40
Wow.
years ago. The big one that's supposed to, rock the whole state there, but it hasn't come. And they're still waiting. Where's the Cascadia event they're talking about? I think that's the name of it. And it hasn't happened. They know it's going to happen, but it hasn't happened. It should have happened. It's just like the Carrington event. They know that in history that it happens about every 150 years. Well, we're way past that now. So it could happen any day. But why hasn't it happened? So that's the thing. We're way off cycle now.
Or it's the data that they observed.
It
Might just be they did not collect enough data. So the data that they have indicates this, but they need more data because a lot of times the scientists are so set in their ways that, they said it settled science. Science, there's no such thing as settled science. Science is always evolving, but the problem is there's money in each of the theories, each of the hypotheses. So they stick to the one which gives them the most money. And then that's how you have misinformation because everyone wants to keep their grants.
Yeah.
That's
you
a
can't
short
go
answer.
outside and get funding. You can't go outside the mainstream and get funding. It just doesn't work.
And there we go again with the bizarro world. I mean,
And these events that they talk about, are they natural events? Do they know that they're natural events, or were they set off?
Well, that's a good question.
That's and it could also be a comet that interacted with another planet at some point, threw it off by a certain amount of percentage. So let's say a comet influenced the Earth. We wouldn't know that because it was just at a certain frequency. It was written by something. It was a god. So then they go, just God. It was just all just stories. And then it came around again, got slowed down or sped up by Saturn, which means it's going to throw it off by another percentage. So who knows? Maybe Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune flew it off by a hell of a lot. So he may be delayed. Who knows? The problem is the data that they observed, the data that they have. That's where they get their facts from. This is what we get from the facts we have. And of course, they want to keep their money, so they're going to go. And someone who's got like a fringe information, they're like, well, there's no money in that, and sorry.
Yeah, they can't touch Velikovsky's theories or any of those types of things. Like they can't even enter that into their thinking, or their funding will go away very quickly.
Yeah, and that we can observe pretty easily. And you are so right about that. The flawed numbers, nobody takes into account the flawed numbers, do they?
Yeah.
No.
Even their methods of dating are flawed. They admit it themselves. For dating of stars, it's flawed. For dating of the Earth, it's flawed. For the dating everything, it's all flawed.
Yes.
But it's close enough. So as long as it's close enough for our data, let's keep going with
as
this.
long as it fits in our data set,
And we get the money. Yeah.
Well, that and the fact that we as the populace accept it. Like you said, if you get it close, people start accepting it. And like, well, that seems like a logical reason. Yeah, that probably could have happened. I remember, like back in the day, we'll just say back in the day, little Johnny would say, Mr. Priest guy, Mr. Father, the Bible says that God created everything, but how come we have dinosaur bones and God didn't want to put dinosaurs on the ark? Why not? Johnny says. And Priest says, that's because the devil put all the bones out there for you to find and screw you up. Now go home. You see what I mean? Look, a great explanation.
Yeah.
And Johnny went home saying, yep, the devil did it.
Yeah. Support my facts with more lies, right?
And that's what we have today. That's a conspiracy theory. Don't worry about that. And unfortunately, what does someone say? A conspiracy theory is the truth 6 months in the future.
Yep. Took about a year for a lot of stuff. Laptops and things like that.
But then they say, yeah, we know better data, but that 6 months ago you said, or a year ago you said this wasn't true, but it's true right here. Yeah, well, yeah, don't worry about it. That's before. Trust the government now. The government's honest now.
Yeah. Who here trusts the government?
Not a lot of good stuff. Hey, Robert.
Yes.
There's a lot of good stuff in chat right now.
Oh yeah.
He said something about, are we just a cell in a body? In the body of, infinite creator,
Yeah.
Just like a cell in our body. And we could be. And the whole universe is itself, or the whole body.
Yeah, that was Big Al. He said something about Star Trek.
Yeah, we may live inside a giant space creature.
One cell space creature.
Yeah.
And we're just the atoms. We could be just the atoms.
Yeah.
That make
or we could be on the spark coming off a welder's torch.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The size of Jupiter.
Hey. Crystal Shaman's leading us. Good night. Good night.
Okay. We all laughed at once. Trust government.
Yes. And that's the thing. That's where the government misleads us. They tell us just enough that we will believe it. Then we accept it. And once we accept it, then they got us.
I found this thing on the street today where they was giving COVID tests, free COVID test out.
Yeah.
And I was like, when they come out with this COVID stuff, they turn around and cast that dark spell of fear on the world. And everybody's scared to death. They're gonna get COVID, and COVID's only a freaking cold. I mean, it's gonna kill so many people anyway. Flus kill people every year. All these different viruses, if you got a weak immune system, it may kill you.
Yeah, see, but they took that logic, Isby, just like you're talking, and then they made that into the boogeyman and said, you don't want to die, do you? You don't want to die? Well, of course not. Nobody says, yeah, sign me up. I'll be on the next bus. No, nobody does that. They say, no, I don't want to die. Well, then you need to do this, this, and this. This is deadly. It's as deadly as the flu or worse. Really? Oh, man. Well, what how bad's the flu? Well, the flu kills thousands of people a year. Really?
Ooh.
But you didn't stop to think that, there's millions and millions upon millions of people that live in the United States. And yes, a few thousands of people do die every year from the flu.
Who did that? Who did the show? Did you do a show on the missing people the other night? Robert?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 8,000 people a year.
Yeah, thousands of people a year go
right
missing, and like 8 million people a year go missing in the world. 8 million. Now, some of those people are found, but some of those people aren't. Where'd they all go?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some magic.
We did remote view a national park and missing people there once.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I'll be in a national park.
They went to a structure, a building, and it looked like they were processed and taken off.
Yeah.
So.
There was this, I was just reading this one today, in, was it Belgium? Belgium. I guess it was a kind of a famous one that happened a few years back. And this guy, now take it what it will, he was kind of a little bit schizo. He'd been taking some medication, and he was, you know, so he'd been taking some medication, put it that way. He's kind of been a little bit out of his mind for a couple of days for this, that, and the other. Gets to the airport with all his things, and he starts saying, I don't want to die here. I don't want to die here. Drops all his possessions, all his information, runs out of the airport. They got him on video running out of the airport, got him on video running out past the airport into a field, and never found him again. Never heard from him, never seen from him, couldn't find him, disappeared right off the face of the earth. Where'd he go?
Hey man, you remember when we was kids going to school and we carried pocket knives in our pockets all the time?
Yes, we did.
Never thought once about pulling it and stabbing a kid that was trying to start a fight or disrespecting me.
Nope.
You know, never thought once about it. Then I get to looking at all this media and stuff like that. Man, these kids these days, they're being brainwashed.
Oh yeah. Heck,
Yeah.
if they take their finger and point it like a gun, oh my God, they're a murderer. You know, heck,
You
they
didn't
could
even
take,
do that.
you know, or they could, what was that one kid that he got hauled off because he took his piece of toast and chewed it into the likeness of a gun? Wow, with a piece of toast, you know.
Up here, there was a kid shot for carrying a BB gun.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you another story. When I was like 14 years old, I was going hunting. See, there was a bypass in front of my house around Owensboro, Kentucky, and I'd have to ride through neighborhoods and everything to go to the bridge, to go under the bypass to the other side, to go dove hunting. Because I was dove hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 20 gauge shotgun swung over my shoulder, riding through neighborhoods on a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even carried it in to a store and bought shotgun shells.
Yeah.
You know, at 14 years old, back in 1974.
Yeah. Well,
Try that today.
yeah, even farther
Even
back
as a
than
grown
that.
man.
Isby, I know you're old, but even a little farther back than that, they used to have, you know, target practicing at school, and the kids would take their 22s on the bus with them and take them to school, put them in their locker or whatever, and then do target practice shooting after school, you know, and it was all good. And now, I mean, now they're trying to say all that is bad. And heck, in Canada, there wasn't it the
great?
other day?
The world's ending.
Your fearless leader said, we're going to ban all handguns.
Yeah. Well, what he's doing is banning all the sales of new handguns. So
yeah,
everybody went out and bought a ton of handguns.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get stuck
But
at
it ain't
the
gonna
end.
work. It ain't gonna work.
No.
There's probably a billion guns out here on the streets of the United States. And I don't know how in the heck that they think that they're gonna take them guns.
Yeah, you guys got 4 to every person, apparently. 4 guns to every person.
Well, you know, the thing is there's certain people who have a multitude of those projectile weapons.
Right.
And then there's people who have a big fat 0,
Yep.
you know, and so that's the thing. It's kind of uneven. There's certain ones that don't believe in it at all, and other ones that believe in having multiples.
Yep. My brother-in-law had 30 rifles.
Yeah, but you know, you can buy a weapon pretty much anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true.
You can buy it from an individual, or even go to a freaking gun shop. You know?
Yeah, they're easy
Not
to
in
come
Canada.
by. Yeah.
Unless you have a license.
Yeah, you got to go through a
Get
bunch of
license,
things.
You know,
And
I
don't
can
they-
go here
you
in
gotta have a
Florida and get me a
license?
gun license.
And then don't they check your
It's okay.
license thing every couple of weeks to make
Yep.
sure that you don't have anything wrong with it or something
And
like
if you
that?
move the gun, you have to tell the police you're moving the gun.
Wow.
That ain't
So-
gonna happen too long.
Mhm.
See, Isby, we
People
got
gonna
it
be
really
selling
good here.
these guns left
That's
and right, you know, to arm other people, you know, that's got extra guns, you know.
Oh boy,
They're
this
gonna be
is
like, well, shit's gonna hit the fan. We need more people armed, you know.
okay. I got some good ones for you guys. First, we're gonna say, beloved abstract. He's gonna put you all to shame. He says, "I put a stink bomb in my locker at school once. It was fun watching everybody react." Anyway, Gaza Cav from Australia says the Nerf guns in a toy store now have to be you have to register them as as lethal, but they're
Oh,
still
man.
allowed to sell it in the stores. Nerf gun, the yellow orange, don't look like a gun really. Yeah, this is true.
That's insane.
Yeah, you bought a Nerf gun, you better register it as a lethal weapon.
That is ridiculous.
I mean,
I
next thing you
remember
know,
lawn darts, man.
yeah, lawn darts. Yeah, don't worry.
Aren't you guys now hoping for the end of the world? Like, come on, right?
Yeah.
You know, the
I'm-
Great
I'm
Reset.
hoping
They want the Great
transition happens.
Reset, but it doesn't have to go the way they want it to, right?
No.
If we allow, like, we're going to have a reset no matter what. They've already set it in motion. The dollar's failing, the food system's failing. Eventually, our electrical and roads will start to fail. So we could reset the system in our own way if we just get rid of these people and ignore them.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think what's happening is that people are wising up that
Yeah,
they're giving us checks. They're borrowing $1 million on our name, our all caps name at birth. And then they turn around and take that money and loan it out to people and keep the interest and other people, and plus even trade us on the stock market.
yeah.
It's
And
it's
they
all
keep taking
fiat.
more
It's
and more
all
and
fake.
more and adding
There
into.
is no money.
I
know,
know
it's
it is. It
it's
is all
all
fake.
illusionary.
That's why it's under
It
the
is all
papacy.
fake. I know. I know.
It's paper.
But they got these trusts on us that's millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and some
Yep.
of it. The older we get, the more that's in there.
It's
And-
based off nothing. That's the
I
thing.
know it's
There
based
is
off
no
of
money.
nothing.
The
But
only
law.
money that's worth anything are coins themselves. The dollar bills are paper. The coins actually have they're metal, so you can make there's some worth to metal at least.
Yeah.
But paper
I know
money
it's all fake. I know
is
it's all
useless.
fake.
So
But
we
they're
nothing to worry about.
enslaving us with it through debt.
Exactly. Exactly.
That there's something called Nasera, and that's where they're going to have to pay their 10% to us, just like it says in the Bible. You know? 'Cause
Has anyone
we're the
ever
God-
tried
we're
accessing
the
that
God
account?
that gave them the ability to make that trust because we were born.
Well,
Yes.
you've been trying to do that with that 1099 Isby, right?
Yeah,
And you're getting somewhere on that, aren't you?
yeah, I believe I am.
Cool.
It's just taking time. The IRS is like 4 months behind.
Wow.
wow.
Well,
That's going to be September then,
yes.
if
Well,
that's true.
I
That's
hope your
what I heard,
patience-
seen the other day in chat when I was watching the show on the 1099A.
Patience is a virtue when it comes to the IRS.
Yeah.
Well, I made a mistake where I double paid for that stimulus check that they gave us, which
Yeah.
was actually a loan for our refund. And I paid $1,200 and I only supposed to pay $600. And they refunded me the $600 immediately, literally.
Wow.
I got a
I
check.
have
And
it.
I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I asked my friend, and he goes, you looked at my tax return, and he goes, you fool, you double paid and they paid you back. I'm like, but that means they knew about it before. Why did they send me a bill for me to pay it rather than going through all this jumping this hoops to go through the damn forms?
Pretty much every Canadian that received, we didn't get a stimulus check. What we got was called CERB, which was like unemployment or UBI or something like that. Everyone was overpaid by $2,000 pretty much. So the government now is asking everyone for repayment of $2,000.
No kidding.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
you
Hey,
remember when you were really
Robert,
broke?
Robert,
Yeah.
hey, Robert,
Yes.
I just wonder how many fingers there.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, but see, you're right, Max. They give you the money, then you go out and spend it, and then they're like, hey, you know what? We overpaid you. You know, well, who took that $2,000 and said, yeah, I think they made a mistake and I put it away just in case I got to send it back.
Yeah.
Nobody. Nobody.
No.
Wait, now the whole country of Canada is on payment plans to pay the government back $2,000.
Exactly. Yes.
No kidding. Jesus.
Crazy.
Insanity.
Crazy.
Bizarro world. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah.
why, yep, I can't wait for the end of the world. I
Yeah.
think you'll be fine. I think I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, well, you know, and see, that's the thing. Gerald Celente, I don't know if you know who he is. He's an economist.
Landstein.
I think he is from like Pennsylvania or Massachusetts, somewhere in there. So, but anyway, he has the, I can't think what the magazine is, but anyway, he does that. And he says, when somebody has lost everything,
Landstein.
they lose it, you know, and when people get to that point, that's when we can expect the sparks to fly, because
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I've seen a movie. It's called, I think it's Lifetime Prophecy.
Trends
and
Journal, that's the Trends Journal.
It was about where there's going to be a timeline shift, and part of us are going to go into the fifth density, and others are going to stay in this density. And we're not going to, we're going to be out of phase with one another, and so we won't be living in this reality anymore. That's this phase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
But where's the other
until that happens, we're stuck here.
Yeah.
And Nina's in the chat and she says, join her tomorrow for Sunday Live. So go check her out. Courtney's going, she's leaving. She says, register for her shadow work class tomorrow night. Please do that. Take it. It's really good. She's good. Yeah, thanks. And Lindsay will be on her show on Monday. So remember, go sign up, check her out. She does really good. She's trying to build her numbers and she's putting on a lot of shows. And if you like what she's got, watch. And if you want something, hey, send her an email and say, I'd like to find more out about this. She'd probably step right up to the plate and help you out. So go check that out. I did the moon class and it was really good. It was like 4 hours, but she shortened it to 2 in 2 different classes. So that's awesome too. So anyway, it came with a lot of papers and how to do it. And you too could be in touch with the moon. So those are my plugs tonight. And Max, you got a show coming up here in a little bit tonight. And don't forget to check out Lucky's channel where he's doing a lot of affirmations. And you're still doing quick shorts too?
Yes, my shorts are all quotes. I have quotes that I collected a bunch of quotes. And I think those would be cool for shorts. So I bet they should do a little bit of a quote that I find meaningful and sometimes extrapolate on it. Other times I don't know. It depends on my mood.
Awesome. Max, you got a show tonight right after this, huh?
Yeah, I'm on in 10 minutes.
Okay, well, if you have to go, I go right ahead, but thanks for coming. But awesome. I want to tell everybody, go check Max out like I do every week, because I send them over to your channel. I says, once you get done with us and listen to us rattle on for about an hour, you're probably sick of us and you want to check Max out.
I wanted to
do some remote viewing.
Can I
Isby, what do you got going on? Mind magic.
I figured that was interested in Max.
Awesome.
Yes, mind magic.
I found that today.
Yep, we can. We've done remote touching.
Remote
meditation.
touching?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I missed that one. That's neat. What's
Well, we
that
can-
all about?
Well, we can do remote viewing. We
Yeah.
can do remote healing,
Mhm.
which is the next step up, and then remote touching, which is basically like remote healing,
Mhm.
but you can augment things, change things, touch things.
Oh,
It's dirty.
That one right
No,
there.
no, no.
It sounds dirty. That's why I like saying it like that.
I know. That's why I listened to your show. I know.
yes. Isby, you're gonna put on some shows with that book?
Yeah.
Pull that up again.
Okay, so what does
do
the
you-
I
title
gotta
say?
figure out. I'm gonna try to install them drivers for my printer and
The 7
One-
keys
Oh,
of
yes.
power.
I'm running
So
Linux.
give us a brief
Yeah.
on a synopsis,
You know,
a
Yes.
brief synopsis.
let me show you I'll show you the content.
Anyway.
Well, here's one.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of blurry. Sorry. You're gonna have to run it off on your printer and put it onto the screen, man.
Yeah,
That's what
Yeah.
you got to do. I'll help you work on that maybe tomorrow or something. Hey,
all right,
Yeah,
guys.
right?
Much
Okay.
love. Thanks for
Okay.
having me.
Thanks,
I gotta
Max.
go.
I'm glad that you
Much
came in to
love,
put some
brother.
input in because
Prosperity.
You know,
be
it really
upon
helped.
you
It really helped.
always.
okay. See you later.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. So anyway, back to the thing here. Beloved Abstract says you get the cost of living raise on your Social Security on the end, on one end, and then they say you make more, so they take some food stamps away from the other end. Yes.
Oh yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
they
go.
always do that. They raise the cost. They raise our checks, and then they turn around and lower our stamps. So we're not making anything more than what we were before,
Yeah.
especially when food prices are soaring.
But then they probably tell the whole world we raised everybody's paycheck because they did. They just took away from something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the end, I noticed this back, when I was working jobs and stuff, before I retired, that every time they give you a pay raise, they raise prices.
Lucky,
So it's more
lucky, are you
expensive.
looking forward to retiring with that kind of outlook? Man.
It doesn't matter, honestly. I don't think I'll ever really retire. I mean, but every new beginning, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So no matter what, there's always something going to happen. So we have to live with the consequences and try to do the best we can.
This is
Well,
true.
the way I see it, I know it's all freaking nothing. It's no money. There's no such thing of any valuable money. They're certificates or that you can spend for stuff. It's worthless money, and actually, we're paying to buy products that have worth with worthless money.
Well, and that the only reason that they're giving us for the worthless products is because they still accept that worthless money. It's when the
They keep us-
confidence and the trust in that money goes away that when you go to give your worthless money, they say, no, we don't take that anymore. We don't have any confidence in that money.
Right.
That's when
Well,
things go
there's
really bad.
These trusts that I'm talking about, those SysQ trusts, they're going to convert that over to credits or whatever they converted it. They changed the system to. All right.
Right.
Because they got to keep making money off of us. We are basically livestock.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. We are
But
the collateral for that worthless
then
money.
Sarah comes in when they see, well, all these people's out of work and everything, and we're making millions of dollars off these people. Why not give them freaking $1 million a year or something to live on?
Mhm.
And that way it takes care of everybody have a home and food in their belly and a vehicle and all that. And let us be free.
Well, I understand what's happening is what you don't understand is that if you have a donkey and you want him to move, you put a carrot right in front of him, just out of reach.
Oh,
But if you
yeah.
feed the donkey, he's not going anywhere. They need us to work for them. So they give
Exactly.
that illusion that we can get the money.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. It's about the illusion of getting it and becoming rich. It's just out of reach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
Well-
all you are is you're just, and everybody says, well, I make a lot of money and I live this way and I live that way. And other guy says, well, I only make $10 an hour and I live this way. Well, you know what? You're just a different level of a slave.
Yes, that's the truth.
Because like my buddy, he works, he's got a house. Well, you know what? I work, I have a house. He's got a car, I got a car. He's
Right.
got stuff, I got stuff. But you know what? My stuff is better than his stuff. My car is better than his. My house is better. I have an upgrade. My car don't break down so often. His
Right.
does. I can go to town and buy whatever food I want. He has to be cautious on what food he buys because, it's just the standard of living. There you go. Isby.
Got
That's your form.
150 of them, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere there.
And that's the way to get your money back from the government.
Through the trust. Use our
Use-
trust. To
use the
access our trust. It's through the. You can also pay bills,
Cool.
buy cars, buy homes off the trust that they put in our old tax name.
Yep.
We're the beneficiaries of the trust.
And once you figure that out and you do it successfully, I'm going to be all over you for that.
I figure a lot of people are.
I'm buying a house.
You might want to order your forms now, but it take a couple months to get them.
Right. Yeah. But no, I think it's a real thing. I've seen it on the internet. People have done this. So, hey, Paul from Newcastle is in the house. Nice, slightly slanted sleuth. Yeah, Steve, I was hoping that you'd stop by and maybe give your opinion on the end of the world. So there you go. And but anyhow,
I don't think the world's gonna end. It's just gonna change.
Change, yes.
It's gonna be a great change.
And
The
people
end of
don't.
this time that we've been in, is coming, but there's gonna be a change. I think that's when 1,000 years of peace comes, because when that change takes place, people wake up. We're not gonna be, all this stuff that's going on, this enslavement, everything's gonna be over.
Well, and that's the thing is how much change can you accept? And it's like changing stuff. Like I used to raise animals, a lot. Lucky, you raise a lot of stuff too. You live kind of on a farm. And what happens?
Used to.
Yeah, used to. But so you know the object of animals. When you take them out of their environment, put them somewhere else, things happen. Like you had some rabbits, and you take them out of one pen, you put them in the other. Sometimes they may just die because they're not used to that. Or especially a wild rabbit. You can't take a wild rabbit, put it in a
Right.
pen, and expect it to be like a tame rabbit. It just
Right.
dies of fear most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
Yes, we've done that. We've taken in wild rabbits and they never thrive. But we had all these pet rabbits that used to breed, and of course chickens. We had a little tiny rooster. My favorite story of my mother came home was I brought chickens, and she brought 2 tiny roosters. And my sister both and I said, "Those are roosters." She goes, "No, they're chickens. Look how small they are." I picked it up and go, "This down here, that was the way their heads are built. They have a little thing. This is a rooster." And they would fight like the dickens. So my mother ended up going to a friend, and she gave her a bunch of chickens because her chickens could fly, and she just couldn't stand them. So she gave my mother these flying chickens, and then that calmed the roosters down. But then the roosters would fight all the time. And my dog had a thing about not letting animals fight. So we ended up killing one by accident. And she said to me, "You've got a rooster killer. You've got a chicken killer. We can't have a chicken killer on the farm." I'm like, "Okay, if he kills one more chicken, I'll take him to the vet and have him put to sleep. Don't worry about it. He'll never kill a chicken." He never did because they didn't fight anymore. And that was his thing. he was also a vicious ratter, where he would just go run in the barn, shake them, bring them back, and bring them to the top and drop them to my mother's feet. And she goes, well, "Your dog is killing these rats and giving it to me." I'm like, the thing is, he's doing his job. That's what he thinks his job is. And these animals, if they have a job, they're gonna do their job. The chickens thought they could fly in the trees, and they would fly in the trees. And then we had other chickens who couldn't fly, and they would live in the hen house. And we just had to adapt to the situation. Horses, some horses, we had an Arab, which she could open any gate. She
Yeah.
knew how to grab the gate with her teeth and shake it so that the bolt would move. And she would run. So we had to keep her in a whole different pen where she wanted to be, away from the other horses. Again, you're right. Some thrive in some areas, some don't. And pigs, they're another whole story. Pigs are horrid. You get pigs that are not so dirty, and then you get the rest of them are just disgusting. They live in filth, but that's their lifestyle.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I had a horse, and man, that horse would jump out of any pen.
Mhm.
I mean, literally, he'd walk up to that fence, look at it like, okay, and then just whoop right over the top like a deer every single time. Or he would like step over, or push on it, and then he'd step, and then he was real slow and smart about it. And a lot of times, sometimes he'd get his foot caught, and instead of how they
Yep.
jerk, like he just hold it there until I come and took it out.
Yep.
Sometimes it was all night, but real calm about it. He would go. He knew when. Here's a good one. He knew when my mother would feed her chickens grain in the morning. He would jump the fence, run over there, eat the chickens' grain in their pan, run back, jump into the fence, and then be waiting for his grain when I came out to feed.
Wow.
Hey,
And
Lucky.
it wasn't like their place was like 2 feet. He had to jump the fence, run across the woods, cross the road, down their
Mhm.
driveway, and then to the chicken coop. And I would say, no, that wasn't him. And
Right.
then at night, he would go jump out, run up the road, probably 2-3 miles, go to everybody's house, eat their plants and stuff like that, and then run home to be back in the pen in the morning. And I'm like, they're like, your horse was out last night. Like,
I don't
oh,
know.
he's right there. No, he was in our yard, messed up our garden. It's right there.
Right.
He's in the pen. Yeah, it was funny. But anyway,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
let's see. Who was slightly slanted?
Yes.
He said in there, the Bible and the end of the world is the end of the ego.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. And you
I'm
might be
sitting
right.
there
And
thinking,
that would end everything. I mean, that would be a good ending. That would be
we can't end the ego, because infinite creator, infinite mind is experiencing each and every one of us, its creation
Mm-hmm.
through each and every one of us, and giving us the ability to create ourselves.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah.
And so if we didn't have an ego, then he wouldn't experience all these other possibilities that the ego give us,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
create. That would
Because the
resist.
ego is our own little individual personality kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is. But anyway, we have went our hour. Max Vision is on,
Mhm.
and I just seen the notification. It just come on. So Max is on. Remember, we got Nina the Mystic, who's on Sunday Live tomorrow. Go sign up for Stars of the Morning Light with Courtney. And Isby, you're going to be writing that book pretty soon, I hope. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna look into trying to install these drivers on this Linux.
All right. So pretty soon. And then Lucky, you're going to have a lot more affirmations for us and some good quotes, I hope.
Yes, I'll quotes daily, affirmations whenever I'm home, which is like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When I'm off,
Mhm.
sitting relaxing at night. That's when I do my affirmations.
Yeah, Lucky, that's what I'm doing is studying that stuff too. Manifestation through affirmations. I've been practicing it every day.
Mhm.
You know,
See?
that
You're
favorite
inspiring somebody.
invocation is an affirmation invocation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, and I've been adding stuff to it.
Yep.
You
Well,
know,
with
and
that-
the same thing for my manifestation notebook here. You know, where I'm written things in there, and been saying that 3 times a day. You know, like what Arwing Steiger was talking about. And I just got that book that he was reading about that because I emailed him and asked him.
Yeah. See, so I don't know if you do this. Do you guys do this? I got a little book like this, and I write down all kinds of things in here that make me feel good. Oh yeah, you got a big notebook. There you go. There you go. You just got a bigger one. See, oh yeah, see, we're so good. See, write down everything in there, like the 7 principles, so I can remember them more often. And mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. I write down different frequencies, do different things. And then of course I got books that I would like to read or get. And then I got quotes, and here's my quotes. I write them in different colors so I can keep track of them. Like, don't you think if I were wrong, I would know it? Life isn't about money. It's about how you conduct yourself through life and how you affect others.
Right.
Let's see. Here's a good one. Start by doing what is necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Yeah. When you change the way you look at things you look at change. There you go. So anyway, yep. So I appreciate those because I'm doing the same kind of thing. Only that's my little book that I write stuff in. And I'm glad you guys have books too. That's so cool. I don't feel like the out guy.
Oh no, I collect papers and I put them together, and then the ones that I write down that I can't type out, yeah. Having a notebook with me is daily, just always writing something interesting down, and then I rewrite it on another page, and I rip out the old page because I made a mess, but that's just me.
Yeah, but hey, that's what you got to do. Well, I appreciate both of you for coming, and Max Vision too. I remember everybody go over there, check him out, go buy some of Nina's stuff, the Anakarana stuff. Yeah, check out, subscribe to everybody's channel here, and support the Soul Tribe because we're all doing good things. And remember, with all of that, go out, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all, everybody. Peace.
Bye.
And there we go. Another show in the bag. Woohoo!